Compton will never get another police station. They removed it because it was corrupt. We had 289 unsolved murders in Compton. So Compton PD wasn't doing anything. They were corrupt, rotten, and a bunch of thieves. They would bust a weed house, steal the weed, steal the cocaine. You had 96 keys. There's a 99-page indictment you should read about Compton PD. That's why we don't have our own police department. It was for a reason. They were removed.
I wanted to talk today about Bobby Finch. Now, I've been down in the Southside Crip neighborhood, handing out postcards, dropping newspapers off, because I also mailed out postcards. And I asked for people to reach out to me if they had facts about this murder. And a number of people did reach out to me, and I've also done some investigation. And I actually spoke to the person who owned the car that Bobby Finch was shot in, the NSX. It was through a leasing company, and a fact that most people don't know is that after that NSX was shot up and it was returned to the leasing company, it was in their basement, and it sat side by side next to the BMW that Tupac was shot in, because the same leasing company owned both vehicles. Now, I don't think that means anything, but what does mean something is that the man who had the car actually remembers the door of the car. There were 9 bullet holes through the car door. Now, the driver's side window was down at the time the shooting happened. That glass was busted because it was shot up through the door. But no other glass was busted in that car, which is remarkable when you think about 9 bullets entering the door. And they were in 3 bullet increments in a tight pattern. And any of you that have trained with cops know that they try and shoot 3 bullets at a time, center mass. It's part of their training ritual. So it appears that it was a cop that shot Bobby Finch. And not as Tim Brennan, a gang war that sparked off. That was a narrative that was trying to be pushed through the Brennan affidavit that was written. And they wanted to paint this as a blood Crip war. But gangbangers don't really shoot in this cop pattern. And so this blood Crip war that was trying to be pushed at the time of Tupac being shot was a false narrative being spun by the police. Now, one other thing that I learned from the neighbors in that neighborhood was that Bobby Finch was legendary because he had stood up to 2 corrupt Compton police officers that were shaking down and robbing drug dealers that were in that neighborhood. And Bobby Finch walked up on them and said, "You ain't shit with that badge and without that badge and without that gun." And give the cop credit. He took off his badge, his gun, his belt, and he squared off with Bobby Finch. And he was humiliated by Bobby Finch, who knocked him out. He was put to sleep with 1 punch by Bobby Finch. That's how fierce Bobby Finch was. I learned a bunch of other things that we won't disclose yet, but I will just say this. I'd like to hear from Southside Crip people about this incident that happened with the police, because I think if you look at the shooting that happened with the type pattern that happens through this door and this story that happens where Bobby Finch puts somebody to sleep, and that incident from the 2 people that I spoke to in the neighborhood happened right at the spot where Bobby Finch was shot. And he didn't die right away, but there were rumors that Bobby Finch had been killed 3 minutes after he was shot up. He didn't die till 35, 40 minutes later at the hospital at MLK. So I'd like to hear more from you all out there, if you know anything about this folklore about Bobby Finch squaring off with a corrupt Compton PD officer and knocking him out, putting him to sleep, embarrassing him, because it might lead to us solving this murder. And I'd also like to shout out to the sheriffs. I reached out to them when I started reinvestigating this, and the sheriffs never got back to me. They told me they would call me right back. They didn't call me right back. And as a matter of fact, they've stonewalled any investigation. I did a FOIA request on Bobby Finch information, and the sheriff stonewalled any investigation. And you would think that if the sheriffs are intent on wanting to solve a murder, that they would at least corroborate or help solve this murder. But they have no interest in any outsiders providing information to them that could help them solve this murder. And I really question, the contract that the sheriffs have with Compton. When you have people at Compton city council meetings now getting up and talking about who killed Bobby Finch, and the sheriffs do not want to help solve this murder, it really calls into question whether or not this contract is a good thing for Compton. And I think it's time maybe for the citizens of Compton to at least hold the sheriff's feet to the fire to solve this murder. It's 28 years later. I'm still able to talk to people in the neighborhood that remember, and they have salient details about that murder. And nobody so far from the sheriffs has reached back to me. Now, any of y'all that have information about this, I'm fairly easy to find. It's MichaelDouglasCarlin at gmail.com. Make sure you put in the subject line Bobby Finch so that I can easily find the emails in this election season where all of our email boxes are being clogged with political email. More later.
We've given away most of Compton. This is ridiculous. No, we don't need another police back because you need to find Bobby Finch's murderer.
What up, Ball First family? How y'all doing? Hey, John, we got a lot to cover up, y'all. You know, say we got a lot to cover up.
Puffy was going up the stairs, and he said, I don't care if Tupac died, I don't care if Biggie gotta die, and I don't care if Suge gotta go to prison for the rest of his life.
We gotta have a confession letter on how everything went down and who's responsible.
Now, getting back to Russell was following in the footsteps of his dad, and he was able to work through the LAPD and have all the things that had to be done within the LAPD. He certainly knew the streets very well, and circumstances in his case were far more tragic because he was killed in the line of duty.
Hold your head on repeat. Listen to the beat again and again in my playpen till Tupac appeared to me. Finally I see. How do we keep the music playing with these devils betraying? Rap games ghost, hocus pocus flows, exposing my foes and their John Does. Mad respect, Russell Poole detect, murderers checked. Now rest your head, bless the dead while the message spreads. Machiavelli said, my killers have not yet bled.
They got to be sorry for what they did.
Like I said, I had two of the toughest guys for him, and Reggie pulled them off of me. It didn't have to happen. I told him to send 5 guys from the club to there, and they never sent nobody.
Suge was set up.
I'm like, cuz, you going to Vegas? You going to Vegas, cuz? They finna try to do something to me.
I mean, murder is pretty simple. The first person you go after is the spouse.
Perez and them was all involved. They were trying to kill me too, but see, because Perez and Reg was good friends, and Perez and Sarita and Reg is great friends, and so all those three together was trying to plot.
Why would I want a paper trail when I never brought him around nowhere? So if I'm gonna hide him in secret, you think I'm gonna let somebody catch a paper trail? They were paid cash by Snoop.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It was a murder for hire hit.
If it was an actual shooting in Vegas, it's on camera in Vegas.
It's witnesses that just said they gave no sex to kill me. So I knew it was cameras everywhere in Vegas because I went to UNLV.
All of the corners in Vegas was equipped with cameras.
Those guys, if you go back and watch the film, they was already stalking Pac, watching him. So that just tipped the iceberg when something happened. But there was a plan already to do something to him.
How come Reggie is Suge's bodyguard and he wasn't with Suge?
We went to Las Vegas Metro in '97. After Biggie was killed, I think there's got to be a connection between the two. The politicians said they don't want to solve it, so they told the investigators put it up on the shelf.
I'm quite sure if they saw the first one, they would saw the second one because it's the same circle of people.
You got a lot to cover up, y'all.
Freudian slip.
You got a lot to cover up.
Orlando wasn't even the shooter, you know? He was actually a good kid too, you know?
Trickery, witchery, foolery, flop, plot to take out Suge and Pac. Traffic stop starts the clock. Collusion of industry, street and cop. Filmmaker takes one last shot. 60 seconds after, no more laughter. Half dead whips out Fatal's Glock. Pop, 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 pop. Quite the head turner, they's dead, came over Nate's burner. Got 'em on Porky Squawker, surviving a real shocker. Fat ass said, we got a lot to cover up, y'all, and that's what's up. Stripped the straps, unloaded gats, Buntry shot back. 3 men in the caddy, just smoked a fatty, but it wasn't Sugar Daddy.
Supposedly there's a hit on Suge.
Wounds are life-threatening, but serious, not in critical condition at this time. And the person, as you are already aware, who was the passenger in this vehicle, is a known rap performer by the name of Tupac Shakur.
With Tupac, I still got a 45 bullet into my skull.
We've been informed that doctors have told the family members that they expect the rap star to once again recover from his injuries.
They know who was going on behind all that stuff, you know? How much would it cost to get rid of Suge? They said, what you mean by get rid of him? He said, kill him.
They put a hit on Suge.
Reggie's dad told me that. Well, he said, Michael, if anything happened to Suge, that's what he told me. Anything happened to Suge, Reggie would run the majority of the company.
It's the same people, same circle of people. It have nothing to do with me, you know?
Treat it on the paper. Yeah, Reggie would carry most of the burden.
It come from because they weren't the ownership of my company.
Hey, John, you got a lot to cover up, y'all.
Doctor said Pac's on the mend, surrounded by friends. Foes called in to make kin spin, finish him off. Pac shook the bed, for his life he pled. IVs to the vein, go straight to the brain. Poison would ease his pain. It only took a drop to make his heart stop. D.O.G. Scorsese created the distraction, lulled protectors in action for the final transaction.
The head of gangs and homicide from the Compton PD is Reggie Wright Sr., and the head of security at Death Row is Reggie Wright Jr.
I'm amazed to this day how Reggie and his father are in prison.
The vice president on TV talking about taking my record off the shelves. Police, you know, every time they see me, they think I'm a cop killer.
It was an assassination attempt on Suge in Las Vegas, who would have everything to gain.
I could have jumped out on his ass in Vegas, but it was killing me. But Snoop was like, hold on, don't fuck this up. So
I was told it was an operation. It was a planned assassination.
How come Reggie is Suge's bodyguard and he wasn't with Suge?
He wanted to be Suge Knight so bad.
Where stuff really come from, it come from because they weren't the ownership of my company.
Police did not follow up on the most basic lead.
Just happened to have officers in the right spot at the right time, were able to radio ahead.
The cops that they trying to connect to Death Row were never hired on Death Row. He had no relationship with any police officers.
When I got shot, it was 37 cameras.
All the artists at Death Row was willing to come with me.
There's other rappers who wanted Suge taken out.
I'm scared of no one. My pitch was to the record labels and to the company was to have police officers that could be good witnesses and for the inmates.
You crooked ass cop.
I didn't need to take from niggas. I was institutionalized, motherfucker. If I tell threatened by anybody, you want to know the real. Nigga would have went to jail for a long time fucking with me.
Get everything you deserve.
Perez and Sarita and Reg's great friends, and so all those three together was trying to plot.
You always will tell you, those are Reggie people.
Suge didn't let none of my security ride with me. Because I feel like they finna try to do something to me.
They need some guys, they need some ex-cops to work off duty or
Police corruption cannot exist. Cannot exist unless it is condoned and tolerated by upper police management.
Greg Kading is out. His lawyer won't let him do it.
You crooked ass cop.
Could it be that the police department had something to do with Tupac's murder?
Coroner's hearse, idols nearby, a dear mama goodbye. Rushed autopsy, quick cremation, police celebrations. Enemies snicker, Haitian bootlicker. We the people mourn, hearts are torn. Bulk of the nation, radio stations, next generations.
And that's what happened. Our lives was in jeopardy.
Told you in the hospital there, something wasn't right.
You know, situation was, me and Pac had a little falling out a day or two before that in New York.
Now, you know you don't take no ass with them like that unless something's up. Unless the goose is cooked.
Orlando wasn't even a shooter, He was actually a good kid, too,
Now, Orlando Anderson, here he is, the only Southside Crip standing in a casino. He was planted there.
Wow, the last time I saw him, he was laying in the bed, holding on to his last breath.
Yeah, John, we got a lot to cover up.
Sold cops throw shade and blame, fill the frame. Orlando's a throwaway patsy, denies the murder flatly. It's a cover-up, a chaos merchant's cover-up. Can't stop the truth from bubbling up. This shit's a cover-up.
Nobody cared about Pac having the right amount of security at all, period.
No one cared.
It was not mentioned at all.
No one cared. And every time I ask Reggie, he gets really defensive. Told you in the hospital there, something wasn't right.
Interfering with the Vegas case. He's a lieutenant in Compton, LAPD, whatever. Interfering with the Vegas case.
Jimmy is close personal friends with Reggie Wright Sr.
Because Pop, that weekend before he went, was talking about pulling away from the labels and starting their own.
And let's go and try to be a distributor on our own. At that time, it was 6 majors, and he was trying to be number 7. I remember he was talking about calling it Lucky 7.
And we don't want that, man. It's enough brothers out here dying already.
Yeah, John, y'all got a lot to cover up. Y'all motherfuckers got Pac. Do y'all know how much that hurts our hearts?
Quail made you famous, your voice made you dangerous. Victim of jealousy, pour out your Hennessy. Death is calling me.